Hello and welcome to video number 1 in the series of Raising Your Puppy. In this series we'll be covering 7 different points of interest that you should be paying attention to when you first get your puppy or even before you get it. But let's get started. Number 1 is management is key, and this is the number 1, but after this nothing is really in order of importance. I can't stress this enough. Management prevents your puppy from forming bad habits. It protects your belongings, your slippers, your couch, your garden, whatever. If your puppy's indoors or outdoors, it's a little bit different. It also keeps your puppy safe. He doesn't chew electrical wires, eat rocks, sticks, whatever. You just manage the environment and don't allow him access to those things. You know, if he's not with you, have him in a crate or in a safe kennel enclosure that there's nothing for him to get in trouble on. And only let him run free when you are there to supervise him. And number 2 is throw away the bowl. Don't feed your dog out of a bowl. If you don't have time to feed him by hand and train him while you're feeding him, which is ideal, then just throw it on the grass or on the floor or whatever, so he has to work a little bit to get it, you know. Feeding out of a bowl can cause food aggression issues, as with my puppy. And also, if they're very fast eaters, they can bolt their food and choke on it, and you don't want that happening. So it's a lot better if you just don't use the bowl, either feed from your hand and or train, all your meals come in training, or just get a slow, one of those puzzle toy things, or just throw it on the grass or whatever. Don't give them the bowl. It's also helpful for real independent dogs to bond to you a little bit more, like I had to do with Kate, because they realize food comes from you, and food is necessary for living, so therefore you're necessary for living. Number 3 is one that I really need to work on. It's let your puppy be a puppy. She is a puppy after all. You can't expect her to be an adult dog who's mature and uses her brain and doesn't get into trouble. And not only that aspect of it, but don't overtrain it. You know, even if she's enjoying the training, you don't want to do it too much. Stop while she's still wanting more, so she wants to keep coming back. Don't wait till she's tired, and end on a high note. And let her be a puppy. Let her go out and play, and let her off leash sometimes. Number 4 is avoid aversives or mean things, whether it's yelling, hitting, whatever. Depending on how sensitive your puppy is. Because when you first get your puppy home, their default setting is naughtiness. In a dog world, it's not naughty to bite, it's not naughty to chew, it's not naughty to dig, go bathroom wherever you want. That's normal, that's dog stuff. And when we take dogs and put them into the human world is when the troubles start. That we say, no dog, you can't do that, you can't do that, you have to go bathroom outside. They don't understand that. And they are just puppies. So if you get a puppy home and it chews up, I don't know, some precious belonging of yours, and you get it in trouble, and then it goes bathroom in the corner and you get it in trouble, and then it jumps on your guests and you get it in trouble. It's going to start thinking that I just get in trouble all the time, because it doesn't know. Most of what it does is bad. So you want to avoid doing that too much. That's be a management thing. I say jumping on guests, just don't let her come in the room when guests are around until she's older and can control herself and you've trained her to sit and lay down and be calm and even ignore the guests or whatever you want, Don't just let the guests come in and then get her in trouble for it, because it's just not fair to her. Because if you have that mindset, you're going to be getting your dog in trouble so much, she's going to become scared of you after a while. Also, getting a puppy in trouble so much when they're young like that can cause them to shut down a little bit when they're around you. Say later when you're training, they're too scared to try something new because they don't know what's going to get them in trouble and what's not going to. Because of, they didn't know pooping in the corner was going to get them in trouble, and it did. So, it's certainly a balance here. You want to try to avoid it as much as you can. Try not to lose your temper, try to be patient. So if your puppy chews stuff, take away the things that it can chew. Keep it in a crate when you're not looking. Hi. We're not mentioning any names, are we? Or if they chase chickens and cats and stuff, just keep them on a leash, huh? Yeah. Or just let them run recently out by the house. There's no chickens and cats to chase. But we won't say any names. Kind of coincidence that you popped up right at that time, though, huh? Yeah. And just keep them on a leash till you can train them to recall off of distractions. Number 5 goes back to number 3 a little bit. Keep training sessions short. Because your puppy's got a short attention span. It's going to burn out if you keep training it. And even if he is enjoying the session, stop while they're enjoying it, you know. Like I said in number 3, that you want them to keep coming back for more. You want them to remember that, oh, that was so much fun the whole time, you know. You don't want them to remember, it's fun at first, but then it got so boring. Then I had to keep doing it. She wouldn't let me go. What's your problem? And sometimes, after you've done this for a while, your puppy will start begging you to keep training, you know. When you say, no, we're done, she'll beg you to keep training. Sometimes I do give in that case and train her a little bit more. Just reward her for asking to be trained more. You know, it's the same concept of if the dog keeps shoving the ball in your face and you keep throwing it, you're going to create a problem of shoving the ball in your face. However, a dog wanting to train, in my opinion, is not a problem, so I will give in to that sometimes. Number 6 is exercise your puppy appropriately. A lot of people go out and get a border collie puppy and think they're going to go jogging with it the next day. No, you're not. Not unless you want terrible problems. You know, they're still growing and you put too much stress on their joints and their muscles and everything, you're going to create problems. You don't want to over-exercise your puppy, and that's not to say that you keep it cooped up and don't let it play. No, you let it play. Nature knows when you're tired and, you know, no one's encouraging you to keep going while you're going to stop and take a nap. Or speaking from a puppy's mindset. But if you're on the end of a leash and your owner just keeps saying, come on, we're going for a walk, you know, that can be really hard. And especially the repetitive, say you're jogging, the repetitive jog or trot can be really, really hard. Whereas if a puppy playing normally, he runs, he jumps, and then he lays down and chews on a stick, and then he walks, and then he runs, and you know, he's doing so many different things that it's not the same as if you had him on a leash and said, come on, we're going for a 10-mile walk today. So don't do that. And you know, that's not to say, as I said before, that keep your puppy from exercising himself. You know, they can handle themselves. And also, it doesn't mean you have to carry your puppy up the flight of steps going into your house or upstairs in your house to go to bed or whatever. But it does mean don't be throwing a ball up and down your stairs to exercise him. You know, because it's hard to run up the stairs. It'll tire him out. Don't do that. That's too hard on his joints. But don't prohibit him from using the stairs when he needs to, on the occasion that he needs to. Also, if you plan for this dog to be a calm house pet, don't over-exercise him, because they can get somewhat addicted to exercise and just keep demanding more and more of it, and then you've got a problem. And that leads me to point number 7, which is teach your puppy an off switch. Teach him that when you're not moving around and when we're not doing anything, just lay down and chill. You know, don't keep bouncing and whining and, well, I want to go. You know, teach him, just relax and go to your bed and take a nap or whatever. This process will take longer for some breeds of dogs and individual dogs than other dogs and breeds. For example, a Belgian Malinois or a Border Collie isn't going to settle down and relax as soon as a Basset Hound or some other lazy breed of dog like that. But it does work on all dogs. They can all learn it. You just take more time to teach it, more patience. As I said, it's not only the breeds, it's the individual dogs. I had a half Border Collie and no one knows what the other half was. And he was the laziest dog I've ever had. And it just depends how they're hardwired genetically. And I've noticed that the show and sport line agility dog Border Collies seem to be a little more hardwired and just kind of more high-strung than the working ones. I don't know if that's true universally, but that's what I've noticed in my experience with it. So the way I teach this is a 3-step process. First, I teach the puppy to lay in his crate calmly and quietly until I let him out. They don't come out for whining or barking or digging or scratching or anything. I'll leave him in there till they be quiet. The only exception for this is if he's been in his crate all night and he's barking in the morning, I'll let him out, bring him to the bathroom. As soon as he goes back in until he can be quiet. Because that's just not fair for a dog to be telling you in the language he knows that I need to get out, go bathroom, and you just ignore him and make him go in his kennel and he has to sit in it. That's not fair for him. So that's an exception, but otherwise they don't come out unless they're quiet and calm. So then after that, I begin working on the place command usually, and I'll have a link down below when I get the video put up. It's not up yet. And I like to use a miniature trampoline to teach this. Not that small, I guess big. And I just teach the puppy to go on it and teach him to stay there till I tell them they can leave. And like I said, I'll have a video in the description about doing that. And so once they learn to relax there and take a nap or chew on the toy or whatever, then I move to having them hold a downstay by my chair, or if I'm standing, by my feet. And that usually works by training them a downstay, or just putting a leash on them and holding them here until they settle down. By the time the puppy is a month old, it should be holding downstays and place commands for at least an hour. And it depends how tired the puppy is, and when you are training this, don't get your fresh puppy out of the crate and say, okay, we're working on this place command, you have to stay there. That's not realistic. It's a puppy, it's going to bounce off. So you want to work on it when the puppy's had a couple hours exercise and it's time for him to take a nap anyway. To just help him learn in the first stages of what he's supposed to be doing. So those are my top 7 tips of raising a puppy. If you have any questions, leave a comment or contact me. And until next time, bye.